But you begin to realize that there are so many things that you unpacked about yourself, and that now you become this bigger person because you're no longer just you, it's you and your partner, right? And now it's not like you're throwing out everything that you learned before, but you begin to realize it kind of doesn't apply. There's so much to be said about the next step of healing that I think happens when you get into a relationship. And when I say think happen, I will say I know happens when you get into a relationship, because everything that you supposedly thought may have been the way it goes, it doesn't happen that way, or it does. Something is confirmed and affirmed for you, or something is just flat out like, no, that's not how they go. Right? There's so much more that you're learning. And of course, life, and we begin to realize that yes, we picked up all these steps, these tools. We now have this trunk that we can open and pull from different books, processes that can help us to do things in our solitude that will not necessarily fit the bill when you become part of a couple. It just won't. There are different rules of engagement when it comes to that. And I've seen so much, especially in the online community, of unreasonable expectations when it comes to what people want as far as a relationship is concerned. And when I say that, it's not stuff that people cannot find, but it may not be what really feeds their soul. They can find it, and then, it doesn't turn out to be that. It just is not it. You know what I mean? It's not that thing. And so, in realizing it's not quite there, I would say to people, don't set up yourself for this place where if you realize it's not there, is it that it's not there and will never be there? Or is it that this person is getting to know you, doesn't know anything about this expectation that you have of them or that you have of your relationships, and they're in the process of trying to merge you and your wants and your needs and your desires into understanding that is how their act of love is going to look for you. But also an act of respect is to understand that in respecting the relationship, you have to be willing to understand unreasonable expectations will have you holding on to something that really is antiquated because you're no longer that person. You're no longer that single person with this expectation. It's really a totally different ballgame. And if it's one thing that I would let everyone know, I don't care what the age is, and this has been primarily where I'm talking about finding love and you're a late bloomer. And I think even then it's harder because we're very stubborn. We are very stubborn. Like, no, this is how I want it. Like, very much so. But then it's just like, okay, this is how you want it. But is it that important? Especially as a late bloomer. Because you've learned a lot of lessons as a late bloomer. You know that things work themselves out and you kind of chill and go, okay, if I don't get it this time, maybe next time or the time after that. It's just not that big of a deal. But I'm hearing this mode and this move of people that are just like making some very, very set in stone, that stone is encased in iron and put in the path to get to their front door of you must do these things. And if the person doesn't know you, why would they? They're not attached to you like, when you do your healing work, that ability to be able to forgive those who may have harmed you, or forgive yourself for putting up with things that you should not have put up with that long, and then pray about it, is key to healing. It really is. But in those steps comes, I think, an understanding of being compassionate towards those that you let get close to you, and allowing them to falter and understand they don't know everything about you. They're still in the process of learning that, and that it's okay that you don't get this thing that you have determined means that the relationship is what the relationship is. And I say this really for late bloomers again, because I think we're very set in our ways. I feel that we feel we know what we want. And I also feel, though, that we have to remember we've been through a lot of things, have learned a lot of lessons, and know that a lot of awesome stuff still happens. Blessings come through the lessons, okay? As long as you stay focused on your process. So I'm saying all this because it's not necessary to follow some of this stuff that we see being talked about in the online community. Because, like, do you want to end your relationship over something very small that it takes time for people to understand about you? Communication is a very big thing when it comes to relationships, but you can't communicate yourself around in a circle because your communication is only about you. You know what I mean? Like, you got to include the other person. This is, again, you have healed in your solitude as a single person, but now you're not single no more. How do you include that person? Think on that. Pray on that. Forgive yourself through that. And enjoy. Enjoy your relationship. Peace, guys.